News.
Well, Congressman Troy Downing is in his first term as Montana's 2nd Congressional District, representing Montana's 2nd Congressional District. He's taken time to join us today. Thanks, Congressman, for taking the time. I know there's a lot happening in Washington, D.C. right now.
Yeah.
And it's got an impact on your district, which covers eastern Montana, including, among those things, the president's big, beautiful bill that has narrowly passed the House. It's been kind of amended. It's in the Senate now. You voted in favor of that. So
yes, I did.
In your words, why is that a good bill for Montana?
Well, if we don't pass that, probably one of the most meaningful things for me and to Montanans, to my district, are the tax cuts. If the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, that was the 2017 policy, if that doesn't get renewed, it expires this year. And if that expires, it would be one of the largest tax increases in American history. To a Montanan, an average Montanan, that would be about a 26% increase in their income taxes. To a small business Montana, it's higher. It's about a 43% increase. So that's incredibly important that we make sure that that is not just extended but made permanent. And that's what we're trying to do. The other part that is very meaningful to my district, we have so many farms and ranches in central and eastern Montana, is not having the death tax come back. You know, having that come back, it forces heirs, when they're going through a horrible part in their time in their life anyway, to have to make a decision on selling part of that farm, that ranch, or in some cases even the family's small business to pay for their taxes. And what really concerns me on the agricultural side is if we see families forced to sell parts of the farm to pay their taxes, you know, in the death of a family member, I think we're at real risk of seeing production agricultural land coming out of production.
This bill has gone back and forth on the sale of public lands, but there is a provision that's being talked about in the Senate version. And some of your Montana delegation colleagues, Senator Daines, Representative Zinke, they've strongly opposed public lands. So what's your stance on that?
Well, I have been very vocal about that, and I appreciate that the Montana delegation is you know, pretty much in lockstep on this. We care deeply about our public lands. Our public lands are not for sale. And I actually signed on the amendment on the House side with Congressman Zinke to keep it out on the House bill. And I believe we're going to have the same pressure from Senators Sheehy and Daines on the Senate bill.
On the Medicaid front, some reports say the bill as it stands in the Senate cuts Medicaid by almost $800 billion. So what would you say to your constituents who rely on Medicaid?
Well, Medicaid is incredibly important to Montana. And very specifically, it's very important to rural health care. And I've traveled to a lot of facilities. I've talked to a lot of folks about, you know, supporting that, and that's a huge issue. You go to a lot of these rural healthcare facilities where 80–90% of their income is Medicare and Medicaid, so that's incredibly important. So first, there's that part. The second part on those cuts, if you look at the billions and billions of dollars in fraudulent payments that have been made in that system, it needs to be reformed. And so what is happening under this bill is it's not taking benefits away from people who are entitled to them. It's basically cleaning up the system so that more money can be spent on those who are entitled. And so there are some, you know, reforms in there with work requirements, and that's how this program was put together in the first place.
We also asked Downing about tensions between Israel and Iran, the impact it could have on Malmstrom Air Force Base, ICE raids, and more. To hear the full interview, go to our website.